Hello, it's Nate, and I'm here to bring you another iceberg, but I'd like to thank you for tuning in and checking out the video. As always, my video will not contain any sort of jump scares or audio that's intended to scare you. This time, the focus will be on the iconic Sonic the Hedgehog. The history of the Blue Blur is full of oddities and things that tend to not age too well. Please relax and get comfy, because there's a lot of stuff to cover with Sonic. I wanted to note that the creator of the iceberg image had simplified explanations of each entry, which helped a lot in my research, so I just want to give them a quick shout out for making it easier for me to sum up and making sure I don't over explain or research the wrong information. Something else to note is that there are a few joke type of entries on here, but I'll simply read them quickly and then move on to the proper entries. So let's get on to Layer 1. Sonic X-treme. Sonic X-treme was a platform game developed by Sega Technical Institute from 1994 until its cancellation in 1996. It was planned as the first fully 3D Sonic the Hedgehog game, taking Sonic into the 3D era of video games, and the first original Sonic game for the Sega Saturn. The storyline followed Sonic on his journey to stop Dr. Robotnik from stealing 6 magic rings from Tiara B and her father. Dr. Kintober. Dr. Ovi Kintober is a character that appears in the Sonic the Comic series published by Fleetway Editions. He once was a kind human scientist on Mobius who was transformed into the evil Dr. Ivo Robotnik during a laboratory accident. Before this, he was a good friend of Sonic the Hedgehog. Director's Cut differences. Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut has differences from the original. Usually the Director's Cuts are known for being superior versions of media. This is not the case with this specific game. Most fans would consider these additions to actually be negatives, and there's quite a large list of differences between the two, and it seems that the Dreamcast version is superior in a lot of ways. Nick Arcade footage. Nick Arcade, also stylized as Nickelodeon Arcade, it is an American children's game show. The show's format combined video game trivia with contestant interactive virtual reality. One of the video game challenges featured a beta of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, including the Hidden Palette Zone, which wasn't included in the final version of Sonic 2. Unused goggles. The unused goggles are an item that was unused in the original Sonic the Hedgehog games, and they were in a power-up container, which led some to believe it was originally intended to be a power-up. These became placeable objects in the 2013 remake's debug mode, and are also worn by Sonic during Tails, Mighty, and Ray's Tornado plane segments in Sonic Mania. Sonic 3 Leftovers. There's leftover code from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in Sonic the Knuckles, which makes sense, as these games are pretty much half an equation to make a whole. The Barrel. The barrel, aka the drum, is a specific obstacle that is notorious within the Sonic community. If you don't know why, I would say you should consider yourself lucky. The obstacle is a bit misleading. When you hop on the barrel, it bounces a bit, which leads the player to believe that their speed and momentum affect the trajectory of the barrel. The truth is, you have to stand still on the barrel, press the D-pad up and down, and that will affect it eventually. Samari's Unknown Origins. Samari is a pirated port of Sonic the Hedgehog made for the Famicom by Hummer Team under their Samari Team alias and published by GD Industry Company. While the origins of the game are not completely unknown, the thing that is unknown is that the release date is unknown. The only known time frame of the game's release is the year of 1994. The Sonic Cycle. The gaming community has noticed a specific trend in reference to Sonic games releasing. I'll explain it with this image. First, you get info on a new Sonic game. There's a lack of friends in the screens. Hopes are raised. Fans begin to claim that this is Sonic's triumphant return. More screens and info on the new Sonic game. There are pictures of friends, pictures of new friends. Gameplay looks to be the same old. Hopes hit the ground. The game is released. Reviews slam the game. It's a massive disappointment, and the fans proclaim they'll never be fooled again. Rinse and repeat. Honey the Cat. Honey the Cat is a character that has a couple of appearances in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. She is an anthropomorphic cat and fashion designer who competed in a fighting tournament for the Chaos Emeralds and the right to destroy the Death Egg 2 to promote her brand. Honey first appeared as an unimplemented character in Sonic the Fighters, but was later made a fully incorporated character in the 2012 remake. Mephiles is Satan. Mephiles the Dark is an antagonist in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, most notably the Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 reboot. He is the malevolent conscience, mind, and will of the sun god Solaris. Mephiles was born during the Solaris Project, when the experiments on Solaris split him into Mephiles and Iblis. Mephiles' name is derived from Mephistopheles, the demon from the island of Faust, and possibly after Mephitis, the personification of the poisonous gases emitted from the ground in swamps and volcanic vapors. Beta Windy Valley. Windy Valley is one of my personal favorite levels in Sonic Adventure, but the beta version of Windy Valley is a lot different from what the final version was. I would even say that if it hadn't been scrapped, it would have been one of the better Sonic levels that was in an official release. The Secretary menu. The Secretary is a character that appears in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. She is a human and the Secretary of the President of the United Federation. In the Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 2, a Secretary-themed background is available as downloadable content via the VMU. In the GameCube version, it is possible to unlock the Secretary theme for the main menu. From the theme select screen, the player must enter a special code and she will appear. Big the Cat Sonic Adventure 2 locations. Big the Cat Sonic Adventure 2 locations is something that is exclusive to the Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 2. In Sonic Adventure 2, at very specific locations in the game, you can see Big the Cat standing around. There's quite a big list, so I will kind of just play a section of this video showing a couple of the locations of him standing around. It's also worth noting that he does run around in the background of certain cutscenes as well. And that is the end of Layer 1. Let's get into Layer 2. The Sky Chase Dragon. Sky Chase is a sub-game stage from Sonic Adventure. Sky Chase is played while Sonic and Tails chase Dr. Eggman's egg character in the tornado, and later the Tornado 2. The point of Sky Chase is to survive the onslaught of enemies and gain as many points as possible. Originally, there was going to be a mechanical dragon mini-boss in Sky Chase Act 1 with red textures and Act 2 with blue, but it was scrapped because of the difficulty and time restraints. This is shown if the center camera is held during the acts. Through hacking, when the dragon is loaded into the game, its flying animation is completed, it can breathe fire, but it does nothing to the tornado. The player can attack it, but it also does nothing. It simply just flies behind the tornado. This dragon can also be found in the Sonic 06 data, and can be seen in the background of the Egg Wyvern's boss battle when Sonic is holding on to the Egg Wyvern. Sonic Crackers. Sonic Crackers, also known in the ROM header as Sonic Studium, possibly a misspelling or mistranslation, is an early Sonic the Hedgehog prototype game for the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis. It is believed to have been an engine test, containing essentially multiple different game engines, swapped out in real time using code written into RAM. The game has Sonic and Tails joined together by a band of rings, which would later become the idea for Knuckles Chaotix for the Sega 32X. The ROM has 2 adventure levels, one of which appears multiple times with a different palette each time, and 2 field levels. One is highly reminiscent of the Techno Tower Zone level in Knuckles Chaotix, the objective being to make it to the top of the screen. If this is done, or 3 full minutes elapse on the clock, the original Sonic the Hedgehog Game Over music plays, and the player is brought back to the first field level, featuring a clouded background and a waterfall. R2. R2 is a scrap level from Sonic the Hedgehog CD. Its existence can be proved by examining the game files on a PC. Upon examining the level files, the level skipped from R1, Round 1 Palm Tree Panic, to R3, Round 3, Collision Chaos. There is no R2 to be found. Its existence is also proven by using the stage select menu. When switching between levels, it skips from Round 1 to Round 3, again leaving out Round 2. Additionally, one scene during the credits slideshow features Sonic running around and dodging an antlion in what looks like to be a ruinous setting. In an interview, Jim Trethewey, a programmer for the PC port, stated that he had the impression from the original planner, Junetsu Kakuda, that the level was cut because it didn't meet quality standards. In the 2011 digital re-release of the game, a single image of an unfinished desert-themed zone called Desert Dazzle was found. While not directly confirmed, this could have taken the place of R2. However, the credits of Sonic CD show a ruinous zone between the Palm Tree Panic and Collision Chaos levels, meaning that Christian Whitehead, who was the lead developer of the digital re-release, possibly conceptualized Desert Dazzle to replace the original R2. Removed Cowgirl. Casinoopolis is a gigantic casino that appeared in Sonic Adventure as an action stage. In the original Japanese version, there's a neon sign depicting a cowgirl that made suggestive noises when hit in Knuckles' version of the stage. It was removed in later versions due to the rather provocative nature, showing the cowgirl half-dressed and holding alcohol. The original neon sign is possibly a reference to the real-life Vegas Vicky neon sign, which also depicts a cowgirl dressed in a provocative nature. Even that was toned down from a prototype version of the Casinoopolis lobby, which showed the cowgirl as a full-fledged bunny girl lying on her side, gesturing to a liquor bar behind her with a wine glass. Magic Gloves. The Magic Gloves are an optional level-up item for Sonic in Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. The Magic Gloves are a set of 3 yellow spikes attached to the top of the bounce bracelet. When wearing the Magic Gloves, they allow Sonic to perform Magic Hands, where he captures his enemies in a ball before throwing them. This level-up item is found in Cityscape, and the bounce bracelet and flame ring are required if the player wants easy access to them. After Sonic passes through the shuttle loop, the player must head up the stairs with the rail in the middle that appears in the front and go into the following open space. In the middle of the space, there are 4 steel containers in the ground. The player must break through them with the bounce attack, and the Magic Gloves will be located at the bottom. I always found that the Magic Gloves power-up was kind of useless, but it is kind of like funny, but mostly useless. Robotnik is the hero. Naoto Oshima is a Japanese artist and video game designer best known for designing the Sonic the Hedgehog and Dr. Eggman characters. Yuji Naka created the original tech demo around which Sonic's gameplay was based. The character in his prototype was a ball that lacked any sort of specific features, but what you might not know is that Robotnik was actually originally created first and was intended to be Sega's mascot, as part of the many design choices for Sega's new mascot. Splats. Splats is an enemy in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. It is a bunny-based Badnik model created by Dr. Eggman. Designed for the original Sonic the Hedgehog, the Splats ended up being cut from the final release of the game. Despite this, they would go on to appear in promotional materials and comics, but it was not until Sonic Mania that they made their first original gameplay appearance. Archie lawsuits. For some context, and just in case I didn't clarify it enough, Archie Comics used to print and have a comic book series on Sonic the Hedgehog that has an incredibly deep lore and a much more nuanced plot than many of the main series games can even hope to touch on. Between January 2009 and October 2015, the comic writer Ken Panders created or directed a number of lawsuits and legal cases against Sega and Archie Comics Publishing related to the rights of his characters in the Sonic the Hedgehog comic series and its spin-offs. By the time of the case's closure in October 2015, a number of lawsuits had resulted in the creation of a reformed timeline in the comics and the removal of a number of characters created and used by Penders. You will see some references to Penders for being kind of a jerk or kind of a weirdo, but let's get on to the next entry. Mr. Needlemouse. Mr. Needlemouse was the name given to several prototypes of the character Sonic the Hedgehog on an early concept art sheet by his designer Naoto Oshima. The name is an alternative translation of Mr. Hedgehog, as Needlemouse is the literal translation of the Japanese word for hedgehog. Mr. Needlemouse is a hack of the original Sonic the Hedgehog game for the Sega Mega Drive by MK Ame X. It replaces Sonic the Hedgehog with one version, arguably the strangest of his designer Naoto Oshima's early prototype of the character Mr. Needlemouse. Planned features include a complete overhaul of the game's graphics to resemble early concept art and perhaps new music. Pingus. This entry is like genuine. This entry is hilarious. I was laughing typing this out and now I'm here laughing reading it. I kind of forgot that this stemmed from Sonic, actually. Pingus, often mistaken for pee-pee, is a famous misheard phrase from the animated TV show The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Since its emergence as an internet meme in 2007, it is a well-known prominent source in YouTube poops. In the episode Boogie Mania, Dr. Robotnik catches his robotic minions Scratch and Grounder eavesdropping on his conversation, saying,
"Snooping as usual, I see."
Which spliced up sounds like that word for pee-pee.
Pingers.
I've heard it so much as the meme, so that when I actually hear the original, I don't hear Robotnik saying snooping as usual. I hear him saying pingus. So I think this meme ruined my sense of hearing. Flicky 1984. The Flicky is a creature that appears in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. It is a race of colorful bird animals that live in large abundance in various regions across Sonic's world and are close friends of Sonic the Hedgehog and his allies. They are constantly targeted by Dr. Eggman, who seeks to use them as an energy source for his various badniks and often imprisons them in capsules for later use. Flicky is an arcade game developed by Sega and released by Bally Midway in 1984, using Sega's System 1 hardware. It is known to be the first appearance of Flicky, who went on to be Sonic's original animal friends and a recurring character, as I previously mentioned. 1993 Macy's Day Incident. This is one that I knew immediately and laughed, but honestly it must have sucked to have been in the position of Sega, as the incident probably cost Sega a ton of money. So to explain this, the 1993 Macy's Day Incident refers to an event that occurred at the 1993 Macy's Day Parade in New York City. For context, the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade is an event that happens in New York every year to celebrate the aforementioned holiday, Thanksgiving, which is strictly an American thing. The parade floats are a huge deal, especially for the time, 1993. It would have set the precedent as a way of saying that your intellectual property or your character made it big. So let's actually talk about the incident. At the 1993 Macy's Day Parade, there were high winds, which is a nightmare for giant balloons. The Sonic float got caught in the winds. It had struck a lamppost and injured 2 people in the process. The only footage available for over 20 years were those showing the balloon deflated and on the ground. In the last few years, a video was uploaded showing the moment of the balloon bursting when hitting the lamppost. A common misconception is that the float was retired that day, but it was actually used later on to celebrate the release of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and I probably pronounced that wrong, so please leave me a comment and make fun of me, thanks. Michael Jackson worked on Sonic 3. This is a rabbit hole of an entry in and of itself, because you can't really talk about the music of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 without mentioning Michael Jackson. There are snippets of songs and motifs in the Sonic 3 soundtrack that have elements or straight up the same melodies that have eventually been released under the Michael Jackson name. It's quite a lot to get into, and some think that Michael Jackson's name was removed due to the controversy he was going through at the time, but I'll leave a link to a video that dives more in depth of the story because it is genuinely interesting, and I think it is worth checking out. And that is the end of Layer 2. Let's move on to Layer 3. Sonic's middle name is Maurice. This is something I've known by being vaguely familiar with the Archie comics when I was younger. In the Archie comics, Sonic's real name is revealed to be Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog, and I probably said that wrong. He tries desperately to protect that information, possibly out of embarrassment. This name is not canon in the game's continuity, however he's simply known as Sonic the Hedgehog in the games. It is unknown why his name was changed in the comics. Movie redesign was a publicity stunt. I enjoy this entry a lot because there is a lot of plausibility of this one. When the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer was first revealed, it wasn't that nice CGI version that we may know now. The first trailer had this ugly, odd, rat-like looking blue animal thing, and it did not match anyone's expectation. To say that it was controversial and that there was an outcry would be a complete understatement. Even those who didn't play video games were like, what the heck was that? There's a phrase that is commonly used in press and social media saying all attention is good attention. So with the controversy getting so many eyes on it and there eventually being an announcement clarifying that it would be fixed, kind of makes it a little suspicious. When you look at the timeline, people began to think that there wouldn't be enough time to completely reanimate the scenes, and yet they did somehow. Many people think that this was a ploy to bring awareness to the movie and then redeem itself by being better than everyone's initial expectations. So what do you think of this? I also really liked how that movie ended up coming out, and I actually think it was the last movie that myself and a lot of others saw in a theater before the pandemic actually hit. Mario in Marble Zone. This is a fun one. A Twitter user at Tanuki Kuribo tweeted on September 29, 2021 saying, I know I mention this every now and then, but have you ever noticed Mario in Sonic 1? And now let's zoom in on the image. Some people in the replies mentioned that it's likely 2 lions with the vase in the middle, but once you see the Mario face, I don't really think you can unsee it. Mighty is Sonic. Mighty the Armadillo was created by Manabu Kusunoki as a friend of Sonic the Hedgehog alongside a small cast of other animals including Ray the Flying Squirrel, Naoto Oshima's creations Vector the Crocodile, and Sharps. While armadillo designs are thought to have been considered when designing Sonic in 1990 and 91, Mighty's design is not thought of to have been finalized until at least 1992, specifically with the arcade game Sega Sonic the Hedgehog in mind. Sega Sonic the Hedgehog was designed to support 3 simultaneous players with the same controls and movesets. So Mighty's initial role was to emulate Sonic in that game, albeit with a new set of sprites and a deeper voice. Western media has used his name to suggest Mighty has super strength as opposed to Sonic's super speed, though the character was left undeveloped by Sega of Japan. The Tails Doll Curse. The Tails Doll is one of 6 unlockable characters in Sonic R, released first for the Sega Saturn console and later re-released on PC and as part of the Gems collection for the GameCube in 2005. Often while playing as the Tail Doll, the song Can You Feel the Sunshine plays over and over continuously, regardless of what racetrack one is playing on. In addition to the creepy soundtrack, the doll limply levitates through the tracks. This led the character to become an urban legend online, spawning creepypastas and horror-themed videos around it, which is interesting because I always felt that the doll was always a little bit unsettling just by itself. On a side note, just related to Sonic R, I wish Mecha Knuckles would make a comeback. But to briefly sum up the Tails Doll Curse, the quote-unquote original story is framed as a story told from the writer's friend. A man comes home from work with a gift for his son, the video game Sonic R. They play it and have a blast. A few days later, the boy is finishing up the entire game and winning all the races. The dad asks his son how he liked the game as the credits are rolling, and it's suddenly cut off by the dad asking, "What's that?" The son said that was the Tails doll, and that was all he knew. Kinda doesn't make sense. But later in the night, the dad went to the boys' room and played the game quietly while seeing that the Tails doll had been unlocked. He picked the doll as his character. The game plays as normal until the doll was paired with Sonic. The screen went black and the system shuts itself down. The dad figures it was time to stop playing and go to sleep. At 2 a.m. he woke up to the sound of thumps on the door. He told his son to stop it and go to sleep. He gets out of bed and it's the Tails doll who was possessed and covered with blood and tells him that the dad is going with him forever. There's a few different versions of the story, but this is the first story that came up on urbanlegendsonline.com. It's a simple creepy story complete with the random creepypasta blood. So, it's a very early example of that type of creepiness that, is almost a stereotype. Chaos is a mutated Chao. When looking at Chaos, it's easy to think that Chaos is just a weird water monster, and yeah, that's not incorrect. But when you look at the overall design of Chaos, it looks a lot like the smaller Chao. A user on the Sonic Stadium website said, a deeply mutated Chao that had been exposed to a great amount of Chaos energy. In Sonic Adventure 2, it is possible to get the aptly named Chaos Chao after several reincarnations under specific conditions. Chao that achieve this evolution resemble Chaos himself and are apparently immortal. There's also some deeper lore in the Japanese strategy guide for Sonic Adventure, which talks about the Chaos Emeralds and how the entire Echidna tribe came to be. One entry of this says, at the altar of the 7 Chaos Emeralds are Chao and the guardian spirit that the people call the Spirit of Water, which makes it difficult to obtain the emeralds by force. The Spirit of Water is actually Chaos's transformation, although by right this transformation should not be called Chaos. Stolen display copy of Sonic 2. The Simon Way prototype is a prototype build of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Mega Drive. It is a relatively early build of the game, thought to have been created around the middle of 1992. The particular prototype is named after Simon Y, who found the ROM on a Chinese website and subsequently brought it to the attention of the Western Sonic the Hedgehog fan community. It was the first prototype to be found of Sonic 2 and for many years simply referred to as Sonic 2 Beta. The Simon Y prototype is more advanced than the earlier Nick Arcade prototype, though still very much incomplete. Only 4 zones can be played during normal gameplay: Aquatic Ruin, Chemical Plant, Hilltop, and the Emerald Hill Zone, in that order too. A further 9 can be accessed through a level select code, though none of the zones can be finished, and there are 3 entirely empty stages. Yuji Naka claimed in an IGN interview that this prototype was originally stolen from a toy fair in New York in 1992. Copies were then mass-produced by software pirates via the Super Magic Drive, and distributed on unlicensed Mega Drive cartridges across Asia and South America, passed on as the final version of the game. As a result of this theft, Sega temporarily changed their stance on journalists accessing pre-release versions of their games, forcing them to travel to a location of their choosing so as to ensure no further leakages can occur. Nazo. Just seeing the name Nazo sent my brain into a nostalgia wave from like being 10 years old and browsing the internet for the first time. Nazo the Hedgehog is the main antagonist of the fan-made film Sonic the Power of Nazo and his remake film Sonic Nazo Unleashed. Nazo was designed and inspired after the early characters designed for Super Sonic, which was featured in a series teaser trailer and the beta image that was once featured in Sega's official Japanese website. The name Nazo originated from the file name for the image on Sega's website, nazo.jpg. Which some fans assumed was the character's name. Years later, Sonic Team's current producer, Takashi Iizuka, responded to fan questions regarding Nazo's true identity and confirmed that Nazo was an early version of Super Sonic, despite the trailer featuring Super Sonic in a classic design. Red Mountain Escape Prisoner. In the level Red Mountain from the first Sonic Adventure, there's a section of the level when you enter the mountain that shows jail bars. There are these odd-looking prisoners standing behind the bars. It is not really known who these prisoners actually are. There's not a lot of information about them online at all. Weknia. It's a bunch of asterisks, but it's dubbed as Weknia by fans. It's a glitch character featured in Knuckles Chaotix. He is a recolored version of Knuckles with silver-white fur, red strands in his dreadlocks, and red eyes. The character is referred in the hidden stage select menu as all the 8 asterisks. The term Wekna, a portmanteau of white and echidna, was coined by Sonic cult webmaster Pachuca. Ian Flynn has stated on his podcast that the character of Dr. Starline from the IDW publishing Sonic the Hedgehog comic series took direct inspiration from this glitch. Similarities include the shared white and red color palette, the platypus being a monotreme like the echidna, and Starline's name itself coming from the line of stars of the original glitch character. Marble Zone UFOs. In very early screenshots of the original Sonic the Hedgehog, numerous UFOs fly around the sky of Marble Zone. This is never seen in the final version of the game. However, the 2005 mobile port has one frame of the UFO inside the game's code. In the 2013 re-release version of the original Sonic the Hedgehog, UFOs will fly around the sky by activating the object placement with the debug mode in Marble Zone. Sonic in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Ah yes, the most ambitious crossover even before the modern Avengers movies. I remember the hype when the Sonic trailer first premiered, confirming his placement in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. But what you might not know is that Sonic could have had his Smash Bros. Debut even sooner. Despite Sega and Nintendo being hardware and software rivals at the time, Yuji Naka claimed that it was possible to include Sonic in Super Smash Bros. Melee. However, time constraints apparently caused these plans to fall through. It would later be revealed that both Shigeru Miyamoto and Masahiro Sakurai would have approved the idea of adding Sonic to Melee. Also, an infamous hoax claimed that Sonic and Tails were unlockable in Melee. Despite having been proven as false, the hoax became well known in both the Smash Bros. Community and the wider world of gaming. Sonic is homeless. When you look in the video games and where he's usually sleeping, it's usually in grass or in a tree somewhere. In a Kiora question asking is Sonic homeless, he never seems to stay in one spot. He's always either sleeping under a tree or running at the beach. A huge detailed answer by the username John Jom goes on to say, I don't have a lot of knowledge on Sonic, which is debatable, but I'm going to answer this to the best of my ability. He goes on to mention that in the Archie comic, Sonic has a house. In the cartoon, he has a house. In the OVA, which is a good movie, and you should watch the Sonic OVA, Sonic and Tails live on South Island. In Sonic X, he lived in a planet in another dimension, and Amy has a house. But when he was brought to Earth, he rested at the Thorndyke Mansion. In Sonic Boom, Sonic lives in a shack on Seaside Hill. In the movie, Sonic wasn't really homeless, but his incident caused him to go on the run. But goes on to say that Sonic is always running. I wouldn't exactly say he's homeless. I like to think of him as a wandering traveler. So yeah, in my opinion, he technically is mostly homeless in multiple universes. But much like this person mentions, a lot of fans tend to think of him as a bit of a nomad, given the reception of this question I was reading. Sonic is the true ultimate life form. This is much more of a speculative type of topic, but let's try and navigate it clearly. In 2009, a user named Sonic Keyblade 007 posted a topic on the Sonic Stadium forum titled Sonic the Real Ultimate Life Form? And mentions at the end of Sonic Adventure 2 at the last story, Shadow mentions, quote, Sonic, I think I've discovered what the ultimate life form is. It might be you. This person goes on to question if Sonic is really being complimented, or if he's saying that he truly is the real ultimate life form. But then goes on to say that when Shadow returns to life in Sonic Heroes, he claims once again to be the ultimate life form and forgets about his claim of Sonic. Some games after Heroes claim Shadow to be even stronger than Sonic, so if Shadow were to remain dead at the end of Sonic Adventure 2 and not return, would that mean that Sonic is the ultimate life form? I personally say it's nothing more than a well-rounded compliment from Shadow, impressed with the power that Sonic can wield by becoming Super Sonic, and is maybe more of a confidence boost. And that is the end of Layer 3. Let's get on with layer 4. Sonic's real name is Sonny. For those of you who don't know, most popular series and trademarks have internal files that dictate whether or not a character can or cannot do certain things, or what a character might do given certain circumstances. It's usually used to preserve the integrity of the character or the integrity of the company associated with the character. They're usually labeled things such as a Bible. The Sonic Bible is an internal document created by Sega of America in 1991. During the production of the original Sonic the Hedgehog game, at the time of writing, Sega of America had little to no exposure of any original Japanese fiction related to Sonic, and the Bible was an attempt to establish the definitive Sonic backstory in non-Japanese regions. It was never published and continually revised during development, so many different versions exist of this, although there are several common elements. In particular, according to the Bible, Dr. Robotnik was once a kind human named Dr. Ovi Kintober before being turned evil by a lab accident, which is something covered earlier in the iceberg. The earliest version of the Bible currently released, this version includes only one section, Sonic's origin story. The backstory is considerably different from that in later drafts being set on Earth in the early 20th century. Specifically, Sonic, whose real name is revealed to be Sonny Hedgehog, lives under a hedge next to a burger joint in Hardy, Nebraska, with his mother and 5 sisters. He is a regular hedgehog about the size of a bowling ball. He even visits bowling alleys to play practical jokes on the bowlers by curling up and pretending to be a bowling ball. He is naturally fast, as he runs along hedgerows at great speeds, a skill he inherited from his deceased father. Although he cannot speak human language, he learns to read and write by watching human children play. Big the Cat, Secret Rings lore. Big Mr. Thickums the Cat has another appearance in this iceberg. Big the Cat makes Easter egg appearances in all of the stages in Sonic and the Secret Rings. This is accomplished by breaking and standing still in certain spots for a few seconds, revealing a short cutscene with him. This unlocks entries in his own diary and the special book that contains many bonus pictures of him in some stages. This empty space gives instructions on the spots where he can be found. Rather than portraying Arabian Nights characters like all the other characters are in this game, he appears as himself, so he's like a meta being. Rouge's Wonky Eyes. Rouge's Wonky Eyes is a glitch from Sonic Adventure 2. When Rouge climbs onto a wall and then moves to the left, her pupil and irises will look distorted. In the Hero Garden, should Rouge climb onto the ledge that has a circle roof on it and then move to the left, pausing the game will give her wonky eyes. Drop Dash is from Sonic 3. The Drop Dash made its official debut in Sonic Mania. Before this move, players would have to stop after jumping onto a platform and charge a spin dash to roll forward. Now with the Drop Dash, players can immediately start rolling once they hit the ground. It is one of the simple new gameplay mechanics that Sonic Mania was praised for. But in November of 2019, Twitter user @tracker_TD posted tweets of screenshots and video of a prototype of Sonic 3, which was revealed to have the Drop Dash as mentioned before. So for a prototype of a game released in 1994, to have this mechanic missing but ultimately drop is an odd decision. Sister Sonic. Sister Sonic was the name of Sonic the Hedgehog's long-lost sister. She was to debut in the cancelled game of the same name. Whether her name was actually going to be Sister Sonic or something else is unknown. The Sister Sonic game is a cancelled localization of a game called Potful Mail, announced sometime in 1993. Due to a large number of angry letters sent to Sega Falcom, the name which would be used for the Sega and Falcom team, it was decided to cancel this port and instead settle on a more direct port of Potful Mail to the Mega CD. This would have been the first RPG in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. Because of this game's cancellation, the Sonic franchise would not feature an RPG until 2008 when Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood was developed by Sega and BioWare. According to Electronic Gaming Monthly, this scenario was a great example of the consumer's power to influence a video game company's decision. Sonic in Knuckles Chaotix. Sonic in Chaotix is a hack of Knuckles Chaotix for the Sega 32X by JJF Tales. By replacing mighty sprites with those of Sonic, Sonic is now deemed a playable character in the game. The title screen sprite comes from a Sonic in Chaotix hoax that was created earlier. The sprite in the side-scrolling stages comes from Sonic Crackers. The bonus sprites come from Sonic the Hedgehog CD special stage sprites. Some custom sprites were also made but under the name of Koji Chow. Genocide City Zone. Genocide City Zone, also known as Cyber City Zone, is a scrap zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Mega Drive. In the Simon Y prototype of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, selecting Genocide City Zone from the level select screen will bring the player to an empty level and simply fall to their death at the bottom of the stage. Concept art was revealed showing Sonic in a traveling tube, along with the name Cyber City Zone. Tom Payne, the zone artist in charge of this level, stated that this zone was intended to be a graphical change of Metropolis Zone, but was dropped before it was even started. Instead, he worked on the third act of Metropolis Zone. According to a Tom Payne interview, the meaning behind the name is due to the Japanese team members wanting to make a zone sound dangerous in English, resulting in the alternate name Cyber City in concept. It was planned to be a single zone, but due to time constraints, the remaining zone ended up as Metropolis Zone Act 3. In the Sonic Jam strategy guide, Yuji Naka stated basically that the third act of Metropolis Zone used a layout meant for Genocide City and that it was meant to be a single act. The concept art was also confirmed as being the inspiration for the Sonic Spinball level, The Machine. Unnamed Sonic Robot. The unnamed Sonic Robot is a character that appears in Sonic Adventure. It is one of the many robotic duplicates of Sonic the Hedgehog created by Dr. Eggman. In Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut, the robot can be spotted inside a stasis tube near Gamma's birth area in the final egg. It plays no important role in the story, and it is unknown what happened to this robot after the events of the games. Can I just quickly mention how cool the Sonic Mecha is from Sonic 2 and the Mark II version from Sonic & Knuckles? I've always enjoyed the different robotic clones of Sonic, they're always so cool looking. Jeffrey is faster than Sonic. Jeffrey St. John is a character that appears in the Sonic the Hedgehog comic series and its spin-offs published by Archie Comics. He is a Mobian skunk with light blue eyes, white and black hair, and his weapon of choice is a wrist-mounted crossbow. He is a member of King Acorn's Secret Service. This is one of the weird entries that is kind of short, but it just kind of talks about Ken Panders, the guy I mentioned earlier in the Archie comics. He made a tweet saying, "The one story I couldn't tell you was Sally losing her V card to Jeffrey. Sonic may be fast, but Jeffrey was faster on the draw in that department." I'm also going to blur out the word, but I think you can understand what I'm saying by when I use the other term that I used. So I think he makes a couple other appearances on this iceberg, and those are also kind of weird. The mystery of the Sonic statue. At the end of 2015, a Twitter user and bike enthusiast at 250 Moriyuki wanted to test out his new bike around some of the more remote parts of Japan. On his journey, he documented the trip and posted a number of images showcasing the sights on his adventures. One of the 3 images shows a giant Sonic statue standing on what appears to be a snowboard held in place against 2 trees. Only a handful of Sonic fans have seen this. At the time, only a single blog entry showing a low-quality image of it existed online, which again didn't give an exact location. The Sonic statue became a kind of ironic pilgrimage site, despite its deteriorating condition. Sometime between 2009 and 2015, Sonic's nose was busted off, and more than a decade of mountain weather dulled his finish and left mud and dirt all over his luxurious blue mane. In a bizarre set of events, after all of this information of people knowing about this statue, it has mysteriously been fully restored, and no one really knows who put it there. And there are a couple of stories that kind of go in more in depth about who might have done it, but there's quite of an extensive history on it, but people don't really know who actually restored and cleaned up the statue that we might see there today. Sonic Boom takes place in Sonic's mind. The Sonic Boom TV show is genuinely underrated with its sense of humor and self-awareness. Here's one of the show's best jokes. So, there's a character who's annoying Sonic throughout the episode, and eventually Sonic begrudgingly agrees to let him go on one of their adventures and save the world from Dr. Eggman. And so Sonic gets to the point where he gets so annoyed that he's like, oh, it's just, I need to go to my happy place. So he closes his eyes. He's like on a hammock at the beach, and then the same character walks up and goes, so can we go now? And then he goes into another happy place within his happy place. Even at this blank slate of like a white endless place, he walks up and asks him again. And then an alarm beeps, brings it back one dimension back as, you know, each version of Sonic is waking up. And so it's going from our Happy Place 2, which is the Void, Happy Place 1, which is the hammock, Sonic Boom, which is 3, an alarm beeps again, but it's not Sonic's. And it shows the voice actor for Sonic come out and say, oops, one too many for all the layers back. And then they go back to the regular show. So it's a fourth wall break joke. I'll leave a link in the description because I feel like I explained it terribly. So, sorry. Terios. Terios the Hedgehog, also known by his phantom alias Zero, is a character that appears in Sonic Revolution. As Terios, he is a navy blue hedgehog with a scar on one eye and bears a striking resemblance to the series protagonist Shadow the Hedgehog. Terios' design is based on a piece of concept art for Shadow the Hedgehog. Death Grinding. The creator of this iceberg simply says, turns out it's just a glitch in Final Rush. I'm assuming that they're referring to the bounce strategy that is used on Final Rush that builds up momentum and allows you to speedrun the stage in a little over 1 minute. And that is the end of Layer 4. Let's get into Layer 5. Sonic Adventure 1 Electric Chair. I previously mentioned this stage in the entry talking about the prisoners of Red Mountain. Well, on a related note, these prisoners have an electric chair, which is kinda gruesome to include in a Sonic game. Tails gets trolled is canon. The creator of the iceberg kind of made a tongue-in-cheek remark. The creator of Tails Gets Trolled, which is a famous fan comic, which it's like bad, but also captivating at the same time. The creator of Tails Gets Trolled said, in a tweet responding to somebody else, "It is canon. Sonic the Hedgehog is a series that isn't canon to the Tails Gets Trolled universe. They really should have asked for permission before using our characters. It's fun. I think it's fun." Cope. Letters spelling cope appear in Springyard Zone. This is a coding in joke. Cope was referenced in Sonic Mania. Can someone explain to me what the true joke is? Oh well. Bootleg plushies. The creator of the iceberg simply remarked, "Bootleg Sonic plushies, nothing specific. Also, I am aware of the rare McDonald's Happy Meal toys, but forgot to put them in here, lol. Oh, I'll just show you some bootleg plushies that are pretty great in the worst way possible. Fang's Real Gun. Fang the Sniper, also called Knack the Weasel, is a fictional character in Sonic the Hedgehog. He is an anthropomorphic Jerboa wolf and treasure hunter who resides in a mysterious alternate dimension, which is described as subspace. His goal is to get his hands on the Chaos Emeralds for money. He is a slick villain, but his aspirations are small time. Fang uses a pop gun as his primary weapon, and the Marvelous Queen Aero Bike as his mode of transportation. But early screenshots of Sonic Triple Trouble actually show that Fang originally had a gun that looked a bit more realistic. Beanville Real Location. Beanville is a location mentioned in the instruction booklet of Dr. Robotnik's Beam Beam Machine. It's a quick one and done reference and never brought up in the actual game or anything, but that's probably because Beam Beam Machine was simply Puyo Puyo localized for a Western audience with the more recognizable characters such as Robotnik. Beanville is a village located somewhere on planet Mobius and is home of the Bean Folk, but beside that, the actual location is undetermined. Beanville is only referenced in the first page of Dr. Robotnik's Beam Beam Machine's instruction manual. Mephiles equals Time Eater. The Time Eater is an antagonist in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, mostly known for their appearance in Sonic Generations. Initially an alien creature with dominion over time and space, the Time Eater was discovered by Dr. Eggman, who used it in an attempt to conquer the world by erasing his past failures at the hands of Sonic with the help of classic Eggman. According to Ian Flynn, on the Bumble King forums, he believes that Sega intended to imply that the Time Eater was a leftover matter of Mephiles. As such, he stated that the Time Eater is an alternate state of Mephiles that slipped through a crack in time. This could explain its purple aura and similar ability to travel through time. However, this has yet to be confirmed in-universe or by any material produced by Sega. Vector's Origins. Vector is a crocodile and is known as the director of the Chaotix Detective Agency, which he founded with his close friends Espio and Charmy. Large and imposing, but with a kind heart beneath his scaly exterior, Vector is ready to take any job that pays, but will always help those in need for free, a charitable nature leaving his agency perpetually short on money. The Sonic the Hedgehog Band was a title given for an early idea of the sound test in the early development of the first Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis game. Well, if you look right there, there's an early version of Vector playing the keyboard. However, Sharps the Parakeet on lead guitar, Monk the Rabbit on drums, and Max the Monkey on bass guitar would not make it. King Boob Boo. King Boom Boo, also referred to as the King of Ghosts, is a character that appears in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. He's a colossal ghost and king of the ghosts who leads the Boos and Boom Boos. I mean, listen to this man, he is simply iconic. During the Halloween update of Sonic Runners, it is notable that King Boom Boo had been incorrectly named as King Boob Boo. Developers apologized for the issue and fixed this. Players received this notification automatically if they had the Halloween update. The name was probably translated incorrectly from the character's Japanese name, Kingu Boo Boo, which the last word in the name reads more similarly to the incorrect word boob. Third storybook game. The Sonic Storybook series is a collection of storybook-themed Sonic games exclusive to the Wii. In both games released under the series, Sonic the Hedgehog travels into the world of a storybook to stop a great evil that potentially threatens both his world and theirs, meeting alternate versions of his friends and enemies in the process. The two games that are a part of the Sonic Storybook series are Sonic and the Secret Rings and Sonic and the Black Knight. Shortly after the release of Sonic and the Black Knight, Sega ran a Facebook poll to see where fans wanted Sonic to go in the third installment of the Sonic Storybook series, including the Old West, a haunted house. Greek mythology won the poll. Around this time, Archangel UK from the Sonic City Blognik stated that the poll was made simply for fun, as numerous community websites at the time all reported that the poll was an indication of a third installment being in development. But as you probably already know at this point, there is no third storybook game. Amy's Tarot Cards. In the Japanese instruction manual of Sonic CD, which is important to note, is Amy's first appearance in the Sonic franchise. Her character profile reads Rosie the Rascal. Real name Amy Rose. Gender female, age 8. Personality energetic and tomboyish, easygoing. Special skills: card reading, dowsing. Her description reads as follows: an energetic and cheerful girl who likes mystical things and fortune telling. She comes to Little Planet by the divine message of the cards, where she has a fateful encounter with Sonic. Amy also mentions her tarot cards quite a bit during Sonic Battle, which is where I actually thought Amy originally mentioned them, not knowing that it was referenced as far back as CD. Who is Max the Monkey? Max the Monkey was previously mentioned in the video when talking about Vector's first appearance. Max the Monkey is a Mobian monkey and the guitarist for the band Forget Me Nots. Max is from the previously mentioned scrapped Sonic the Hedgehog band. The band was supposed to play music when a player used a sound test option in the game. Max has yet to have been fully addressed by name within the comic itself. However, a female groupie was seen carrying a sign reading Max Rocks at one of the concerts. Sonic Sense. In a video by the user Badnik Mechanic, which by the way, is an incredibly great name, let me just say that. Good job. He made a video titled The Sonic Sense, Sonic's Lost Superpower, which starts off talking about superpowers that characters have, mentioning Sonic's speed in his super form. The video goes on about how Sonic has a sixth sense that involves Sonic sneezing. In the Sonic the Hedgehog manga, one of the villains, a lizard named Anton, causes trouble in Hedgehog Town. There's a caption that mentions that Sonic will sneeze when Crisis approaches, and in the next panel, Anton approaches Sonic. In a European promotion by Dan Wan, there's a sticker that shows Sonic sneezing at a spiky orb boy. In the Japanese guide for Sonic Jam, there's a small blurb of his character profile that mentions him sneezing when Sonic senses danger. The biggest confirmation of this is actually in the Sonic CD animated intro, but it's something that can be easily overlooked, but something that most people have definitely noticed, including myself. Not only this, right after this sneeze there's a rock that comes close to hurting Sonic, which would confirm the ability since it happens when there is a potential crisis approaching. At the Sega Joy Palace in Japan, there's a giant Sonic statue that has a button you can press for him to say various voice lines, and there's a line of him simply sneezing, which is the most up-to-date version of Sonic having this reference. I'll also be including a link to this video in my description because it's absolutely worth a watch. Ashura the Hedgehog. Ashura is a popular palette swap glitch that can occur in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. To perform the glitch, the player has to activate debug mode regularly and select Emerald Hill Zone from the level select screen. When the player enters the zone, they have to make an invisible object and a large waterfall in debug mode. Each area unlocks a different color palette. The reason for Ashura's happening comes from the game's limited RAM quantity that will start overloading the data. When numerous waterfalls are added via debug mode, this will cause a sudden palette change for Sonic's blue hair coincidentally. Chris Chan in Sonic Boom. In the Sonic Boom TV series episode, The Biggest Fan, Sonic-obsessed character has led people to believe the character of Mark is based on Christian Weston Chandler, creator of the webcomic Sonichu. The character acts pretty embarrassing and tends to ruin the fun for Sonic and his friends. He shows Sonic his Sonic fan art and even mentions the off-colored arms. Pretty specific. And let's not forget this clip.
Let's act out my Sonic fan fiction.
Like, I'm actually speechless looking at this. I did not edit or modify this in any way. This is what aired on TV. It's pretty amazing. I might actually start watching the show now because I feel like I've been missing out. And it's also worth noting that the writers of the show have denied this, claim to have never heard of Chris. Shadow based off of Sonic 3 mural. During a boss fight in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, there's a mural in the background showing an ancient-looking Super Sonic fighting Robotnik and is a prophecy of the final boss fight in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Gerald Robotnik has shown great interest in ancient echidna culture. Shadow's quills have more in common with Supersonics than regular Sonics. Perhaps Gerald saw the mural and based Shadow's appearance off of it. That is the end of Layer 5. Let's get on to Layer 6. Sonic Team ripped off Pepsi Man. Pepsi Man is a game that garnered a lot of attention due to the over-the-top nature and absurd setting that the game has. Pepsi Man released on March 4th, 1999, and it shares certain similarities to Sonic Adventure 2 that was released in June 18, 2001. Both games' first areas seemingly take place in San Francisco, as you skateboard or snowboard down roads, running away from large trucks, or in Pepsi Man's case, the giant Pepsi can. The Russian Sonic Quiz Show. Sonic Super Hedgehog was a Russian quiz show broadcasted in 1994 on the RTR station. It featured popular Sega games for the Sega Mega Drive and Sega Master System. The show was a game show featuring teams of participants consisting of a child and their legal guardian. These participants had to answer questions and take part in related challenges. The game show consisted mostly of 2 rounds, while the third round was reserved for situations that required extra time. The first round was questions, second round consisted of various challenges based on different games for the Mega Drive. In the event of a tie, each team would receive rewards based on their position in the challenge. Losing teams would usually receive various merchandise, posters, t-shirts, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 themed watches, and better video game consoles such as the Game Gear or the Master System. The main prizes given to winning contestants were a Sega Mega Drive 2 and a few games. DramaZero.gif. The DramaZero.gif refers to an unused image or hidden graphic titled as such. A photo of Yuji Naka with Naoto Oshima next to him, holding a drawing of a realistic blue hedgehog. This picture can also be found in Sonic and the Secret Rings alongside a making of video. The photo seems to have been taken during recording for a Sonic Adventure production presentation VHS tape. Gotta Go Fast Origins. Gotta Go Fast is a catchphrase commonly associated with a poorly drawn fan art illustration of Sonic. Originally submitted to the now defunct Sonic Central fan site, this image and derivatives of it are sometimes known as Sanic. Gotta Go Fast is the title of the theme song from the English version of the Sonic the Hedgehog anime, Sonic X, which aired from 2003 to 2006. It would lead me to believe that the true origins of Gotta Go Fast stem from the theme song, and then from that point the phrase was associated with Sonic, as it wasn't a catchphrase that Sonic said or anything like that. Fang is Jerboa. Fang's original creator, Shinichi Hagashi, designed Fang with a Jerboa in mind. The sales department for Sega decided to make him half Jerboa and half wolf instead. In North America, he is a weasel. Additionally, his alternate title, Knack the Weasel, was thought of by the Sega of America localization team, as his name otherwise is a reference to firearms. Why Fang was changed to Knack is unknown, but it might be because fangs and other sharp objects tend to have negative connotations. The Vector Man contest. I'll just leave this to the creator of the Iceberg's take on this. He says, Vector Man released with a promotional contest with a cash prize of $25,000. Nothing really creepy about it or anything, but the whole Vector Man series is low-key creepy, not gonna lie. It is pretty weird, I agree. Donkey Mode. We love Video Game Donkey in this house, and I actually didn't know about this Pete's trivia up until this point. When charging up on those dash gear things in Hydro City Zone, or Hydrocity, there's a voice clip of our funny donkey friend saying, sadly this has been patched out of the game as of the Plus expansion's release. Sonic 2 Special Edition. This is amazing. Honestly, I would have never heard about this otherwise, but this Special Edition is an LP archive video. This is a very early example of the type of ironic meme posting that is incredibly ahead of its time. Some of it's a little poorly dated and may not age well because of, the state of where we are as people and stuff like that. I'll leave a link to the playlist with all the different videos in the series. Sonic 6 Sad Face. Sonic 6 is a pirate hack for the Game Boy released in 1998 credited to Sonic World. It is a minor graphical hack of the 1993 Speedy Gonzales Game Boy game by Sunsoft. Getting a game over in the bootleg Sonic 6 plays a depressed Sonic, which is actually an edited Sonic 3D Blast sprite. Prison Island Death Tolls. This is something I've never actually thought about until right this moment. There were almost definitely people on Prison Island when that whole area got blown up in Sonic Adventure 2. There was even that missile launch in Metal Harbor and even Rouge's boss battle. This makes the story a lot darker than ever to me now. November 3rd, 1993 prototype, do not research. The title of the entry is just a joke. The creator of the Iceberg simply says, the November 3rd, 1996 build of Sonic 3 is probably the earliest build of Sonic 3. Bill Clinton connections. This is a really weird entry, but there is an article that does talk about this, saying that Sonic's personality is based off of Bill Clinton, his gloves are based off of Michael Jackson, and his shoes are based off of Santa Claus. And now that I know this information, I cannot unsee any of it, and I hate it. I'll also leave the article in the description. That is the end of Layer 6, and let's move on now to Layer 7. Sonic Rush original soundtrack samples Malcolm X. Before I elaborate on this entry, I just want to shout out the composer of Sonic Rush, Hideki Nagamura. This dude is a literal Chad. He thirst posts, talks about memes, and constantly challenges famous people to fight him, but really his music is straight up incredible. Let me play this clip of audio from Malcolm X during his speech called The Message to the Grassroots.
Coffee that's too black, which means it's too strong.
And now let me play the music for the final boss of Sonic Rush. The song is called Wrapped in Black. There are some great sample-based tracks spread throughout Sonic Rush, and it's definitely worth checking out. It's also worth mentioning that Hideki Nagamura has stated that he intended it to be about coffee. So of course he didn't notice that this was actually a racial undertone where, it's talking about rights and, segregation between two races. Zodic the Hellhog. Ill Bleed is a survival horror game developed by Crazy Games for the Sega Dreamcast. It was self-released in Japan in March 2001 and published by AIA in North America in April 2001. Even though it was financially unsuccessful, Ill Bleed received a cult following for its notable combination of non-linear gameplay elements and its B-movie style comedy horror theme, dialogue, and voice acting. The game consists of 6 stages represented as movie theaters. The goal of the game is to complete each stage by fulfilling their unique objectives. Each stage has traps and enemies designed to kill the player. Each character has different strengths and weaknesses. At the 6th stage, the stage ends with a boss battle versus a character named Zodic the Hellhog. This is a truly confusing game, but hey, the concept of the boss is pretty neat, and yeah, those are rings. Lost Adventure DLC. When Sonic Adventure was released on the Dreamcast, Sega regularly uploaded content onto the in-game site that would unlock already programmed yet hidden data. Sega had many downloads for Sonic Adventure as it was the launch title for the Dreamcast, as well as the Dreamcast's most popular game. Most of these downloads were events and challenges that mostly took place in Station Square. These events were to celebrate an actual event or for competitions that were hosted by Sega. This entry refers to the fact that the Sega Dreamcast used early forms of DLC, which to its detriment means that some of the early DLC was not archived. Just for the sake of making this specific part of the iceberg a bit more interesting, in 2019, a member of the website DCE Emulation by the name of Moop the Hedgehog found lost DLC that only ran for about 2 weeks or so. It was a small event to celebrate the up-and-coming New Year's, otherwise known as Yoshiro of the New Year, as a way to welcome ancestral spirits or Kami of the harvest. The event reportedly places a Japanese Karamatsu, a traditional New Year's decoration made of bamboo, pine, and umi trees, in the game. The event was originally released on December 26th, with a second bug fix version released on the 29th. The event ran until January 7th, when Kodomatsu decorations were typically removed. This New Year's event had long been the final missing piece of Sonic Adventure DLC. With that discovery, all of Sonic Adventure's DLC is now preserved. Super Sonic is its own entity. This specific version of Super Sonic is from the Sonic the Comic series that was published by Fleetway, so this is not the Archie comics or other incarnations of Sonic. This specific version of Sonic is a powered-up form of Sonic. Super Sonic is a psychotic demon-like entity who manifests himself in Sonic's body under conditions of extreme stress or exposure to the Chaos energy. Sonic frequently had to battle to keep his alter ego in check because Super Sonic's immense destructive powers, hyper-aggression, sadistic humor, and lack of restraint frequently endangered innocent civilians and even Sonic's own friends. Indeed, Super Sonic seems to enjoy the prospect of killing Sonic's friends. In issue 184, he deliberately holds back to prolong the pleasure of killing them. And just to note, Super Sonic was created when Sonic absorbed a dose of evil energy that had been absorbed by the Chaos Emeralds. Who's there? I'm sorry, creator of the iceberg, but I don't think this should have been so low into the iceberg. But who's there refers to a voice that whispers the question, who's there, before the beginning of some boss music from Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic 06 was made bad on purpose. This is similar to the theory mentioned earlier on the iceberg, which speculated that maybe the movie's Sonic model was bad on purpose. There's some who think that Sonic 06 was made bad on purpose. On a blog site, AndreaRitsu.com, Andrea wrote a blog titled Just How Did Sonic 06 Happen?, which talks about the development of Sonic 06 and the circumstances that the team had to face when developing the game. Andrea doesn't say this directly, so this is kind of my own speculation on the topic. Given how many team members were new to making games and yet Sega is still accepting deals to port Sonic 06 to so many different consoles, including the Wii and PC, which by the way never happened, there are so many features and gameplay aspects added to the project. And I feel that the leads of the project made what they could knowing that the game couldn't be polished to a satisfactory degree, and maybe they just left the game unpolished out of spite of Sega's decision making, aka their money making. Drowning Tales. In Sonic Adventure 2, there's a Chao Garden, which allows you to free roam in the lobby, Chao Gardens, and the Chao School. When playing as Tails in the Hero Garden, since he isn't in his mech walker, his short height allows him to run out of air, which means you can drown him in the Hero Garden's pool. Sonic's real name is Sonic. Another one of these jokey type of entries the creator simply says Sonic's real name is Sonic. Self-explanatory. So let's just move on. The Exploding Baby. The Exploding Baby is a specific scene from the TV show Sonic Underground. Sonic's non-canon brother goes to save a baby. He fails, but the baby explodes, and for whatever reason, the eye is a key component of the animation, like it highlights the eye popping out. Either way, this video is really funny. Secret Dominatrix Outfit. I've mentioned Dreamcast DLC earlier, but this piece of DLC comes from Sonic Adventure 2. There's a Luchador outfit DLC for Rouge, but do you think that's a Luchador outfit? Sonic Adventure 3 already came out. Per the creator of this iceberg, many games have been considered a spiritual Sonic Adventure 3, Sonic Heroes, Sonic 06, Sonic Unleashed, etc. I personally feel that Sonic 06 was initially supposed to be Adventure 3, given that the original trailer that was shown had that kind of vibe and tone I would have expected from the series, and I think from that point of view it would have been a good part 3. Olive Garden. Olive Garden is mentioned throughout the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and this is mostly another joke entry, so let's go ahead and show you a little something I made. The movie stole from Ken Panders. The creator of the iceberg said that Ken Panders claims that the movie stole his ideas, or something else, Pendery, which is just kind of a joke I was alluding to earlier, that Ken Panders kind of just says everything's his idea. And that's the end of Layer 7. Let's go ahead and move on to our last layer. Layer 8. Fun is Infinite. Fun is Infinite is a creepy secret screen in Sonic CD created by one of the designers, Majin. Also, shout out to that time he found an old Sonic CD spec document while cleaning his room and then laughed at a Twitter user when being asked to post them. Dr. Robotnik is actually Satan. In Puyo Puyo, Satan is the final boss of that game, but with that not exactly being what the localization did or probably wanted to push outside of Japanese audiences, as religious themes are quite controversial in the US. Dr. Robotnik fills in for Puyo Puyo Satan in Mean Bean Machine. Obama/Moon Connections. This entry is a reference to the Snapcube dub of Sonic Adventure 2, specifically the scene where Eggman blasts the moon and threatens to shoot the Eclipse cannon at the Earth. I'll leave a link to the original video in the description. It's some quality content. The Hidden Face. I couldn't find anything on what this was specifically talking about because it's so vague. A quick YouTube search brings up the Fun is Infinite or Sonic.exe stuff. The Iceberg's creator said there was a recent YouTube video about a hidden face in a Sonic fan game, but I can't seem to find it. Oops. So let's move on. The Buzzing. The creator of this iceberg said that Sega's Sonic 25th anniversary livestream had a horrible buzz playing throughout the show. Studiopolis and Sonic Mania references the same buzz at the end of the zone. Part of the livestream I'm going to reference and show you guys is going to be brought down significantly in volume because the buzz is really loud at one point. Michael Jackson didn't work on Sonic 3. This is the same theory as presented earlier as the original Michael Jackson one, but in reverse, as there's been a lot of back and forth testimonies about Michael Jackson actually working on Sonic 3. Chris Chan is God. The Iceberg creator simply says Chris Chan believes they're God. Chris Chan has been involved in so many shenanigans in their life, it's not impossible to rule out. I just think the title of this entry is really funny, but yes, Christian Weston Chandler does believe that they're some form of a god or some sort of deity who's superior than others. And with a lot of the coincidence stuff that's happened to him in the last couple years, it definitely isn't impossible to rule out. Imaginary Running Man / Sonic is Real. Many people share childhood memories of imagining a running man parkouring next to them on long car rides. A lot of people also say that they've imagined Sonic the Hedgehog running and jumping around. I like this entry a lot, and it may actually be my favorite one because of how much it resonated and sparked true for me. It like awakened a memory that I honestly forgot I had. The Man 3. The Man 3 is a texture present in Sonic Adventure 1, specifically on the Dreamcast version. The texture only appears once in the game, during Tails' final boss fight with Dr. Eggman on the Egg Walker. The movie-like poster texture replaces the typical Chow in Space poster, and features a man with dark skin, sunglasses, a classy suit, and a large mustache. Below this man appears to be several unknown silhouettes, 7 to be exact. There's still a little bit of speculation on if this is a reference to Men in Black, or the old Men in Black that are referred to in conspiracy theories about aliens and such. Well, that brings us to the end of another iceberg. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into another rabbit hole of mine. I would like to thank each and every one of you who watches my videos and keeps up with what I've been doing. I couldn't do it without the kind support and love I've received over time. You've all been a huge motivator for me to keep doing what I'm doing and feel good about it, really. If you've enjoyed the content and would like to see more, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I plan on also putting more uploads in between iceberg uploads. I just kind of took a little time off for the holidays to, kind of refresh myself. For little sneak peeks into what I'm working on next, or to keep up with me on social media, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at What'sUpNate. I'm also planning on streaming on here every now and then at some point as well. Please check out my podcast, The Sleepy Gamer Podcast, for some more cozy vibes outside of the YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.